I got stained, got ink all over my hands. I was trying to print something and the ink exploded all over me. I tried to wash it. It's not coming off. Anyway, hi. I'm Mariana Palmer, author of Burn the Same, on a Vella, Empty Beach on Vella, and upcoming as a book on January 15th, and of the Kid and Darling series. And I have so many books I want to talk. I don't want to forget them, so I'm going to talk about Burn the Same today. It's all about a girl who can control ice, and she's thrown out by her parents. Well, not thrown out, but sold to the bad guy. But when she's only 6 years old, she grows up in this facility that controls her powers until one day she escapes, and then she's on the run, and she thinks she's on her own, but she thinks she can get to some mythical island that will save her and her kind. But she's not sure she's gonna get to it. But then one day she meets a fire burner, and together they have to fight against these breathers, these evil things that can breathe them out and tell them where they are, and they want their powers, steal the powers and use them. So that's what Burn the Same is about. Available in Kindle Vella, and maybe coming out in the book in the new year too. But so I want to read the first chapter to you, and you can come along with that, right? I really like it. Burn the Same. It's one of my better stories. Ha ha ha. Okay, sorry. Okay, so here we go. Burn the Same by Mariana Palmer. Alright, Chapter 1. Ice and fire are complete opposites, and yet they burn the same way. Both are beautiful, and both are deadly. This was the first coherent thought I ever had when I was about the age of 3. And when I realized my skin wasn't just cold, it was ice, I had to accept that I could be both deadly. I could be both beautiful and deadly. It didn't get any easier when I met fire. As I traveled on the fastest train out of town, the first part of my journey north that would end in Washington State, my mind was focused on my first thought, and wondered what my last one would be when I inevitably stopped running. I gripped my hands together, too hot and confined in their gloved prison. I really hoped that the trio that I had just boarded the train would get off at the next stop. I knew they were breathers. If I survived this, I'd be sure to make an entry about them in my ever-growing notebooks. I had been on the run since I was 6, when my parents had sold me out. The day I started my diaries, the day I learned it was a certain death to trust any living thing. Once again, I swallowed the dirty and dry lump in my throat. It's all right, Leonie, I told myself. The breathers could only sense that someone like me was on the train, but they wouldn't be able to pinpoint who. I wore the most unassuming outfit I could imagine, a dirty, off-white rain jacket, 2 sizes too big, which let its gigantic hood fall over my face. I chose it for 2 reasons. 1, it was so big it covered my face so no one would be distracted. And 2, because I felt like an elfin princess with a hood of protective magic around my face. A perfect disguise. I bit my lip as outside the winding train, the sun sunk behind the blurred scenery. With the breathers coming up slowly, like a fog of poisonous gas, I did not want the night's own dread added. Sure, the cold of late fall enhanced my powers, but I never liked the dark. I felt my breath push against my already parched lips. The breathers were getting closer. Please, 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 I begged anything that would listen. Don't let them find me. I wasn't exactly sure what would happen if they did. I had always run. The fear they spit into the very back of my bones was as instinctual as predator and prey. A deer doesn't know what exactly will happen if a wolf catches it. It just knows not to let it. I wished I could be sure that all the breathers would do was eat me if they got me. I felt my heart throw itself against my ribcage, urging me to run. They were next to me. Hello, young lady. Mind if one of us takes that seat? The voice of melted silk pouring down my skin urged me to trust him. I wasn't that stupid. Go ahead, I said with a soft smile. I sure hoped he wasn't one of the bloodhounds. He'd hear my heartbeat, feel the rush of my pulse, see past my phony smile. The other two moved on down the train. What a night. It's a bit cold. I pulled out my book to hide behind, even as I shifted my backpack with all my worldly goods inside onto my back. I was ready to run. But if he'd just leave me alone, I'd... Nope. He was staring at me. He hadn't taken the hint. Nice gloves, he noted. Cold, I barely whispered out. What could I do? Freeze the glass? Smash out the window? Landing would hurt. Could I jump and run without breaking my legs? Freeze the floor? No, I wasn't powerful enough to ice up the metal to a point where I could break through. I was trapped. The wolf had me. But I tried to breathe. Maybe, just maybe, he had given up on finding his prey and was just being pleasant to a stranger. Yeah, and I was a pink raccoon. Why did you take them off? I caught a look from the corner of my eyes. The breather had whitish blonde hair and piercing purple eyes. He saw past everything. His muscles were burly, trained, fit enough to kill. I didn't answer him. The window it was. I sure hoped I wouldn't break my leg. Suddenly, the breather's hand shot out and grabbed mine, holding it in a grip of iron. His other hand pulled my hood down, but then his grip slackened. His mouth gaped. It was nice to know that even the breathers weren't immune to the beauty that nature had given me. He was caught off guard. Most were, even with the warnings. The unnatural whiteness to my hair like fresh snow on the first day of winter, my clear and flawless skin, my eyes so blue they shined like an otherworldly light was inside them. Yes, I'm beautiful, I said, and pulled free. By moving my arm, I used my power, and the window iced over. I kicked it out and jumped. The open air surrounded me as I fell. The wind ripped at my ears, stripping past my head. I had waited too long. Right as I had made my death-defying escape, the train had rumbled over some bridge or another. This particular bridge had a drop about 100 feet, and I felt each one as I hit the water. I plummeted, my powers took over. They took great exception to water. Shards of ice split the open air around, but I sunk to the bottom. There you go, that's the first chapter. There's 1 through 67 available on Kindle Vella now. First 3 episodes are free, so go ahead and check it out, and thanks for watching. Bye!